men have something to say in this, and that's why I think it's so weird when people do not discuss like important things in the start of the relationship, like if they want kids. Parents share their stories and their regrets about having kids, and it's anonymous. So no one can be called out. So no one can go after the people sharing the stories and just think this is amazing, because they should not get any negativity over sharing these kind of topics, because it's taboo to share these kind of topics, sadly. But I love that there's a page like this, because then people can make a better choice when it comes to them deciding whether they want kids or not. Because just knowing that people regret having kids is a great thing to know before you decide if you want kids or not. Because a lot of the time, like, having kids is romanticized. And having kids is not always good. And having kids is not always a pleasant experience. And I think it's really great that we have a site like this that shares the unpleasant experiences of having kids, because not everyone will enjoy having kids. And for some, they will regret it. And me personally, I'd rather regret not having kids than regret having them.
Hello guys, future Catherine here. I just want to say that this is an older video and that my viewpoints when it comes to this and having kids has definitely changed. For a long while, my view was, as I just pointed, that I'd rather regret not having kids than regret having them. Then I came more into a point of life where it's like I could both see a good life when it came to having kids and not having kids. And now I'm at a point in my life where I'm actively trying to get kids with my partner. So again, I just want to say this is my old viewpoint. People change. But I still really appreciate a site like this, because I think no matter what, it's really great to know like what other people see as the upsides and the downsides of a decision, and especially a big decision like having kids.
So I'm going to go right into the video with the first story. I knew from a young age that I wanted to have a career. So I went to school and did the hard subjects and got a very good qualification, as well as a postgraduate degree. However, while studying, I met a guy and we fell in love. Then, when I was 26, we had our daughter, who is now 4. My career is stuck and I can't get a job. And to make it worse, my child is autistic, so it's hard deciding to leave her with her dad to go get a job elsewhere. I am so suicidal and alone in situ. I have no one but my baby and her dad. I do not hate my child, but I really hate myself. So this is definitely a story that's a little bit harder to read, because she's clearly mentally ill, and maybe she does not hate her child, but maybe the pressure and the stress that having a kid brings out the struggles she has even more. And having a kid that is autistic is definitely hard. I just hope she gets the right help and her life gets better, that she gets some help to manage whatever she's fighting. The next story says, what kind of mother am I? I always wanted to be a mom. I always wanted to have a few kids running around the house. But I'm dead tired of all this. Married at 25. We had our first son when I was 27 and our second when I was 29. Here I am at 31, realizing that I still have 16 plus years of this shit. And I'm pregnant right now for a third time, and accidentally pregnancy, or in other words, an IUD. I think it was supposed to say failure pregnancy, maybe? What kind of mother am I when I want to tell my husband that I need a break? How do I tell him that I am not ready for a third? How do I tell him that I need time? I am not for abortion, never have been. But I can now understand how it can look like a good option for women. Nothing about motherhood is easy. I will survive and I will keep moving and I will always love my 2 little boys, but none of this is easy. I wish I waited a few more years before I had my first child. Not having a second child so soon would have been a good choice as well. Being a mother tires her out and she does not want the third kid, which she is pregnant with. Then the problem here is actually her own beliefs, and they go against what is best for her. Because what is best for her is an abortion. What is best for her is that she doesn't believe she's a bad mother just because she needs a break. And just her not even knowing how she should tell her husband that she needs a break kind of tells me about her values and that this relationship might not be good. Because in a good relationship, you can talk about most things, no problem. I don't know, that's just something that's not right about this. Both in her own beliefs going against what's best for her, but also that she's afraid to tell her partner about how she's feeling about all this. I don't know if she just doesn't want any more kids at all, just right now, but doesn't want any more kids at all. She should definitely be thinking about getting sterilized, or her partner should get sterilized. Either of them should be sterilized. The next story says, can you please post this about my adult children? Back when I had better health and a little life to give, my kids at least acted like they cared about me. Now that I'm sick and can't do what they want of me, I'm useless to them. That's fine. To me, they do not exist. Their lives, to me, they do not exist. Their lives are miserable and their selfishness knows no boundaries. As I have progressively gotten sicker, they have progressively become more distant from me, only interested in what I can do for them, and angry when I can't do it. I told them I'm being tested for cancer. That was a month ago. Neither of them have ever messaged to see what the results were or bothered to ask about it. I may be in my final years, but I've never been more content and happy. Maybe they'll find the key to happiness someday. This definitely sounds like a bitter person. And I'm thinking two things. Either she was a really bad parent and the kids are trying to distance themselves from her, or her kids, her adult children, aren't good people. So either she was a bad parent, or either her kids, adult kids, aren't good people. So it's either or, but just hearing how they've distanced themselves from her just makes me think that she probably wasn't a good parent. So me personally, if you did not know, I have had really bad parents, and most of my life I grew up with my dad, and at 17 my mental health was really bad. Let's just say I would not be alive if I did not quit the contact to my father. So I really have a lot of experience with narcissistic people and how it's always other people's fault and they can never see their own faults, and how toxic that is. I don't know if this is that kind of scenario, but that's just what it makes me think of. Either her children are in the wrong or she's in the wrong. Usually you cut contact to a person if they're not healthy for you. So yeah, that's what I have to say about that story. The next story says, feeling sad today, feel like I waste so much of my time. Yes, I'm helping with homework, taking kids to birthday parties, and making excruciatingly boring chat with other parents, etc, etc. Basically doing everything I need in raising these kids. But I'm running out of time and energy to keep up with my own friends, and that's making me really sad. I get so lost in everything within this home and family. I'm really scared I'll turn around one day and have nobody else. I feel like a lot of these people in these stories say how they like at the breaking point, how they do not have any more energy for this. Like they'll say like, I'm doing everything I should be doing, but still like I'm feeling like something is missing and something is not right. And she fears being lonely, which is very valid, because when you have kids, you basically almost only have time for them. So you do not have time to get other relationships and to make other relationships good, because relationships takes work. You don't have the time to put in work when you have kids. Or at least it's hard to do. So I get where she's coming from, and I hope it gets better for her when the kids get older, and maybe she can just get them babysitter just to get out there and try to get some friends or a partner or whatever she feels like she's missing when it comes to other relationships. Either that, or she needs to work on her relationship with herself and not being afraid of being alone one day because she's already with a good person, which is herself. So me personally, I think it's so important having a good relationship with yourself because then you fear being alone less than if you had a bad relationship with yourself. Because you're the person you are going to be with for the rest of your life. Like other people come and go, but you're the only person you have your entire life. Next story says, help, I just found out I'm pregnant and don't feel good about getting an abortion, but don't feel good about having a child either. I'm getting married in 2 weeks and have a 10-year-old bonus daughter. My husband-to-be is one of the good guys, but we already fight a lot because I don't feel like he helps me around the house. I'm afraid I'm going to regret if I have the kid and afraid I'll regret if I don't. Is it really that great being a parent? Just seems like so much work and stress. And I know there's a lot of love and good rewarding things too, but I don't know if I want to have in and day out and serve them for years on end and lose sleep and wake up early and all the hard parts. Am I missing something? There's a reason people want kids and are desperate to have them right. I don't want fear to hold me back. Any thoughts appreciated. I feel like abortion, like having such a bad reputation, makes women like her have a kid and regret it. Abortion should really not have that bad of a name because at the point where you're getting an abortion, the kid isn't even a living being. Like, it can't live outside the womb, and if it can't live outside of the womb, it isn't a kid yet. And rather get the kid aborted than a kid knowing that they have a parent that regret having them. The next story says, I'm currently pregnant with my third child. My first 2 kids' father divorced me and I'm solely financially responsible for them. He refused to help me with them at all. He won't even get his kids cupcakes for the birthdays. I thought this time around would be different because I fell in love with a man who seemed like he would be an amazing husband and father. As soon as I found out I was pregnant, I told him he demanded an abortion. We've been fighting and arguing non-stop since. He says I'm trapping him and ruining his life. I can't afford 3 kids alone. I didn't think he would leave me like this to do this all alone. I'm terrified. I wish men wouldn't do this to us. Please stop making babies and leaving us to do it all alone. I'm not a strong, independent woman. I feel like God is punishing me, like I'm in literal hell. All I ever wanted was a real family, but all I get is kids. It hurts watching other women and children be taken care of, and we're just left to suffer. And people blame you for everything when you're a single mother. I didn't want to be a single mother, but I can't make anyone stay and be a father and husband. I don't know if she's blaming just one of the fathers or both, but it's wrong for her to blame them. Because, like, even before you did the tango with the guy, you could discuss whether he wanted kids or not, because it's not only about what you want, it's also about what the other partner wants. And when the partner said that he wanted you to get an abortion, it was because he did not want a kid. And I also think men have something to say in this, and that's why I think it's so weird when people do not discuss like important things in the start of the relationship, like if they want kids and what to do if the woman were to fall pregnant. Like what we do in those scenarios. And just think so crazy that people do not talk about this in the beginning of the relationships. She should not be blamed for being a single mother. And again, when the guy says he does not want the kids, he says you should get an abortion, you should kind of be able to figure out he will not be around. He kind of already said it, that he would not be around. Find a guy who actually wants to be around for kids. Like, that's the simple solution. And just stop having kids if it's too hard for you. Men also have something to say in this, and I think it's really important we discuss that because it's not just about what the woman wants. I feel like God is punishing me like I'm literal hell. So it's God's fault that she makes bad decisions. Okay. Let's go on to the next story. I'm a 32-year-old mother of 3. Ever since my husband and I got married 2 years ago, things have gone downhill. Life seems to be throwing one punch after the other. My husband lost his job, we couldn't afford our rent anymore, so we used his profit and funds to build ourselves a house in some informal settlements. There's no water or electricity, but we had to make it work. We opened up a small gas refilling business, but it failed. We job hunt every day, nothing seems to give in. We go days without eating. Sometimes my youngest is only 2 years old, and last time she was so hungry she was falling in and out of consciousness. I don't hate being a parent, I just wish I could afford to raise my children in a stable, loving home, but I'm so depressed. My house is so cold, the walls are not plastered inside and out, there's holes on the walls, the floor are not done, I'm just so miserable. Now weigh 42 kilos, down from 64. I love being a mom, I just want to give my kids the best life, I just want to win. I'm sorry, but this is serious child neglect. Just no. This person should not have these kids. Like, they don't even have basic things like food. I really hope that these kids get taken away to someone who can afford the basic necessities. I'm sorry, but that's just child neglect. The next story says, I'm constantly at breaking point with my kids. I have a 3 and a 1-year-old, and being a mom is not even close to what I expected. I love them and do my best to give them what they need, but I hate being a mom. Husband and I used to have the most incredible relationship, full of fun, laughs, and adventure, and now we are a shell of what we used to be. We are just living alongside each other, and our lives are totally consumed by these kids. There's no us left. I am often suicidal, always depressed. I mourn the life I could have had. The social work career I always dreamed of, but will never ever get to have. My 3-year-old is spoiled, ungrateful, always hurting his sister. All of my conversation and potential friendship revolve around the kids. Alongside it is the guilt of not being the mom I thought I would be, worrying I'm screwing my kids up and not being the mom they deserve. All I want to do is put them both in daycare 5 days a week, but guilt prevents me from doing it. Absolute dread every day, and I can't believe that this is my life forever. I'm kind of afraid that if she does not put those kids off adoption, they will get hurt, but also she might end up taking her own life. I hope she finds a solution that works out for her and her situation. And yeah, guys, we have reached the last story, which says, I have to say this community have saved me. Before I found it, I thought I was going crazy. I felt so isolated and nobody understood me. Everybody around me lived a completely different experience. I always thought, what is everybody around me who has kids on? How in the right state of mind can somebody say that it's magical and all worth it? I'm long past postpartum depression and I can look at things in a logical way. I hate this toddler care routine person. I hate that it's completely mind-numbing. I hate the constant mess my flat is. There's not a single room where there are no toys all over it. It sometimes feels like I should just give up and take a something in the middle of the room. What difference does it make? We already live like pigs. Does he ever stop taking and asking for constant attention? It's so exhausting. My romantic relationship with my husband is non-existent. We just co-parent now. I thought many times of giving up parental rights and leaving all this behind, but I think that the guilt will kill me. I do love my child. The great paradox, I love my child, but I hate being a parent. I actually don't want to lose my husband. I just want to go back to how we were before, but I want out of this situation. It will be lose all. My child, my husband, and my family, as they would hate me for this. I feel so trapped and I do not see a way out. Already described your way out, which is giving the father full parental rights. I could see that this person already mourns the past relationship, but that she's never going to get that back. So she should leave the parental rights with the father, get on with her life, get a better life, and just because she does not have the parental rights does not mean that she cannot see the kid. So I definitely think that would be the best thing for us to do. And just the first sentence that says, I have to say this community has saved me. That is what I love about pages like this, because it makes people feel less alone. Like, you're not the only one who regrets having kids. I would also hope that a page like this actually prevents people that would regret having kids if they had them. Like, that would prevent people like this from having kids. These were the stories for now. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you soon in another video, another time. And just know I appreciate every one of you. And if you like me and my channel, remember to subscribe, like, comment, all the good stuff that helps my channel out. And I'll see you soon in another video. Bye guys!